They've apologized. They have both apologized. So let's just start there. Because I want to break this down because I want to break this down about Hurricane and so forth. Let's start there. They've apologized. What they said was wild. It's going to be a very interesting day at the ESPN FC office because who leaked that? That's an outtake. That's an outtake that's not supposed to make the rounds. So somebody saw that outtake and leaked it. So it's going to be very interesting day because Mark and Alexis will be like, there's obviously someone here who doesn't really have a back, doesn't like us, or maybe didn't like what we did, and just JJ leaked it out there. So, because that's what I want to know is like, how did it leak? Because there is no way that's made it to the air. There's no way, unless, or did it? Or did I make it to the air? So, I don't know whether it was leaked or whether someone, an editor by mistake, actually filmed the outtake and it went to air. Something crazy like that. But whatever it was crazy. But let's just start with the apology. Because my thing here is, once you apologize, it's done. So this is from Mark Ogden. We have contacted Tottenham Hotspur to sincerely apologize directly to Spurs and Harry in addition to the club's supporters. I think he did one before there. There we go. An inappropriate conversation with a producer was accidentally posted publicly for a short time before being taken down. Our comments were clearly disrespectful and regrettable. We have the utmost respect for Harry Kane, a consummate professional and role model to youngsters. So it is what it is. And for me, Mark wasn't the worst one. See, Mark was like, okay, yeah, he's a bit boring, innit? And like, yeah, his voice. But he will get to the worst one. But look, he's apologized. Should he still lose his job? Should he still lose his job? As my amigo on Twitter came to me, Jimmy Carragher spat at someone. I think that's what spitting at someone, and the person that was in the car was a little girl. I think it's a lot more worse than what your boy Mark Ogden did. So he apologized. Now, notice something here. So let's first read her response. This is from Alexis Nunes, who for me was the worst. We'll get to what she said. I'm truly sorry for the comments we made during a discussion that was inadvertently posted online. They were uncalled for and insensitive. I have the highest regard for Harry Kane, an accomplished athlete and leader. He deserves better from us, as do the fans. We've all learned a lesson from this unfortunate mistake, and again, I apologize to Harry and Tottenham Hotspur. Notice something. She has, you see this here? You can't respond. Well, you can retweet it, you can quote retweet it and everything, but you can't respond because she obviously knows that she messed up. And again, she's apologized. She has apologized. She shouldn't lose her job. You can give a suspension and everything and so forth, but she didn't spit at someone. She didn't racially abuse someone. Okay. Yes, you mocked someone's speech, but there are certain things that are worse. Racially abusing someone's culture, religion, or so forth, abusing someone's identity, or spitting at someone, like a boy Jamie C did, is worse. But Alexis, you've apologized. It's cool. But you've revealed yourself. Because what Alexis Nunes did was worse. Because Mark Ogden was like, okay, yeah, the voice is boring. Okay, it is what it is. And it's just, see, what Mark Ogden did, that's unprofessional. Okay, that's very unprofessional. You have to apologize, but it's very unprofessional. What Alexis Nunes did is you revealed yourself. You said, thank goodness he can play football. In other words, Alexis, you're saying that if he wasn't able to play football, he'd be useless? So you just really say that if you met someone in public who spoke like Harry Kane, had a 9-to-5 job, wasn't really talented at anything, you would think that they're pretty much useless. So that is a serious character flaw. You've revealed to yourself that you're a pretty messed up person. Again, that doesn't mean you should lose your job. No. But just means that you're a messed up person because you just said that if you were to meet someone that spoke like Harry Kane and he wasn't a footballer, wasn't a singer, a rapper, an artist, a movie director, an actor, but he was just a regular dude with a regular 995, you'd pretty much be like, oh my god, like who the heck is this dude? Because as you said, thank God he's a footballer. Because if you weren't, it would be useless. That's a crazy thing to think. So let's go on to the whole Harry Kane thing. Where, look, I talk about Harry Kane with regards to is he world class? I'm not too sure. I still think he's overhyped. He's part of this whole English media hype and so forth. But never once have I ever mocked his speech. And even when I see people mocking his speech, sometimes even sports fans, whenever I see them mocking his speech, I'm like, why? I need to just ask people like, but why? Like, that's how he speaks. And to me, I've never been. Also, yeah, he speaks funny, just like how there's this actor called Steve Buscemi who also talks funny as well. Like, I'm like, okay, he talks like that. I'm like, because I'm one of those guys where, like, if back in school, I mean school in England, it's funny. Let's say I was in school in Nigeria. I don't think they'd be mocking Harry Kane's speech really. They'd be just like, oh. But in England, 100% they'll be mocking this guy left, right, and center. They'll be mocking jokes and cracking jokes about this guy's speech. And Harry Kane, they'll be doing that thing all left, right, center. Sports fans as well. So it's just a thing that would just happen in schools in England, 100% for sure. But for me, as I've always said, is that, but like, I don't. This is just me. I've never found his speech an issue. I've never felt the need to mock his speech. I've never felt the need to sort of make fun of how he speaks. And not because I'm this angelic saint, this good man and everything. I just haven't, you know? So whenever Harry Kane is just talking, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is just Harry Kane doing his thing. I'm like, so the whole concept of like, man, this guy, look at how he talks. It's so, you know, I'm like, he's a footballer. Like, what's he should now be like, hey, my name's Harry Kane. Hello, I'm the captain of England, Queen Lizzie. So, I don't really know how he's supposed to say. But that was just the thing that just struck me the most was, because look, they've said sorry. And people calling for them to be sacked is like, would you still be calling for them to be sacked if, let's say, they said the same thing about Christian Benteke? Let's say Christian Benteke talked like Harry Kane, or some other brick striker talked like Harry Kane, just like you a striker, and they were caught doing that. Would you be so adamant in having them sacked? So you can't be like, oh no, we want them sacked because it's Harry Kane, a top striker, as opposed to Benteke or some other brick guy who's a garbage flipping striker, or like Chelsea Torres. So let's say Chelsea Torres talks like that when he was completely useless. Would you be so adamant in wanting them to be sacked? So you gotta keep the same energy. You can't just treat Harry Kane differently. But I said again, like it's how, I mean, that just watching that because someone sent it to me on Twitter, and I was like, oh my gosh, did this really happen? What the heck? So it's a wild one. But look, guys, they've apologized. They've said sorry. Okay, it is what it is. These things happen, and let's just keep it moving, man. So, guys, man, remember to hit that like button. And remember to hit that icon over there to subscribe, man. Peace out. Stay true, your boys out. Thanks for watching the vid, and remember to head to the official website for the latest on my blog, rankings, breaks, and the Hall of Fame on halffootballhot.com.